score setup, starting with a lyric sheet, and then moving that into maybe a performance application and using it as a live performance. I want to show you how to do that quickly, starting with Notion and add that to my desktop and then move that into Studio One 3 as a live performance. And we'll start off with a new piece of music, and I'm going to call this one Cry Me a River, capital C-R-Y, me river, and make it a lead sheet. So we'll start off by adding a treble stave and putting that into the score. You can see it's come up quite quickly there. And the part will be piano to play it back. So instrument, name, piano. Whoop. And that'll do for now. Return. Yep, that's all good. Back. Now, I think I'd like to change the font. Maybe we'll go back into a score setup, and in the score setup gives us full score settings, and I can change the font in here. So I've done the title, subtitle, Mr. Mr. P. And back, and we'll change the font to slightly smaller, maybe. Back, and now we're going to go to change all of the fonts to a different jazz font. I think I quite like that one, so we'll leave that in there. Okay, jazz font. So we'll add some notes to our Cry Me a River using first the note icon here and quaver, and I'm just going to put the notes in with my finger, and it's A minor Cry Me a River, so it's caterpillar, and then bug, rest, and more word names, butterfly, and then rest. So we've got caterpillar, bug, butterfly, and then we want another butterfly, so we can probably copy all of that. Copy, pop it over here, and I wonder if we've got a paste button there. Paste. Nice. And for the last or the fourth part, you can use the Apple Pencil. So sorry about that. We'll go to making it a bit bigger and turn the piano into Apple Pencil. Now I can use my finger, so I can just put in the names of the notes. Again, we've got to use quaver. Da-da-dum, da-da-dum. Pretty lousy quaver. Oh, it recognised it. Bomb, bomb. Take it up one, if we can take it up one higher. No. Undo that, and we'll do a different quaver. Maybe we'll use the Apple Pencil, it's a bit more precise than my finger. Draw it a bit better. Here we go, and this time it's a crotch up. And another rest. And we can highlight the rest as well, so hopefully that makes it a bit easier to recognise. And then the last note is a good old semi-breve, and we'll put in a double bar line here, and either draw it in or just punch it in using my finger. Here it is. And save this as, should we save it as, and send it to iCloud. So save, so we already got the name, and it's all done. I'll open up now in on my laptop to add some more parts. Okay, so we'll open up this score in Notion on my laptop, and we see that Crimea River is there. And I had to listen to the video, and I realised that it was a bit inaccurate, so I'm going to get rid of one of these bars, and maybe there's extra bars here as well, just by highlighting them, and then going to delete, and changing this last bar and highlighting that as well, and deleting that, and changing that last note into something that represents what's being sung. So we'll put a crotchet there, and we'll pop it up here. So now if we play this back, it sounds a little bit like this. And I've forgotten the repeat mark, so we'll put a repeat mark in here, highlight it down there, and then drag it up and pop it into the right place so that it repeats. So we'll open it up. Okay. And Justin Timberlake's been named as the composer performer, and you'll see there's a little green highlight here which enables us to put things in that area. The first thing I would do is to change, if it hasn't already been done, the piano into a guitar, and turn on the guitar chord symbols using C7. So the main thing is C7 is enabled, and it shows you the chords here. Now I need to put in the chords, I think, to make a decent lead sheet. Start with an A minor, so highlight A minor, A, and then over here we can choose the kind of A chord it is, and I'm going to use A minor there. You might notice on the right hand side the chord symbols are changing, and you've got a choice of 3 or 4 different symbols there. I quite like that one, so I'm going to click on that, and as I move over here, it allows me to drop it into that green area, attaching it to the note effectively. So there's my A minor chord. The next chord bar 2 is E7th, and so I'm going to start again on the left hand side, choosing the E, the kind of E chord, E7th, and choose which one I like the fingering for over on the bar chord diagram. I quite like the simple version of E7th here, so we'll stick with the one that they've provided there at the beginning, and we'll put it into here. Bar 3, we'll just pop that up in there. And that's it for the chord diagram. You can see that I've already put in the names of some insects to help the kids to remember it. A caterpillar, bug, butterfly, etc. And that is done in the same manner as you would enter text down here with lyrics, and just pop in the words that you need. Okay, so I'm going to go over here to the sandwich area at the top of the menu on the right hand side, and you can see that it will change its form, and it looks a bit more in a macro view, ready for different changes to the score. So you can hide a section if you want to later on, if you've got more parts, and you can change the settings. Now I don't really like the piano very much, so I'm going to change the settings here, keyboards, and change this to electric piano to make it more in keeping with the original, and it will by default put in treble and bass, so I just want the treble clef so I can add other parts in the bass. So I'm going to go to notation and change the stave to standard notation, and everything else I think is okay there. So we'll go okay again. So very happy with that. It's electric piano sound now. Let's add the electric bass, same as before, by going into the score setup. But you can see down the side here you've got all the different instruments listed. Now you have to download each of these. They come in bundles. So I've got guitars and basses already downloaded, and I'm going to choose electric bass as a bass player. I figured it's a nice place to start, keeps everything grounded. And you'll see that both the bass clef and the tab appear, which is convenient. And the cool thing now, if I go out of this view, exit score setup, and I hit on the pencil here, click on the pencil, it allows everything that I put onto the bass guitar on these strings. It's actually still an electric guitar, but let's change that to bass by clicking on the bass tab there, and you'll see that there's now only 4 strings, and it allows me to play the guitar, the bass guitar, as if I was actually playing it, and put the notes in the correct pitch as well. Okay, let's put the notes into the bass clef, and I'll have to turn the pencil on to enable that to happen. So I'm going to click on the pencil. It's not with an A, F, G, A, and then put an E in on the D string, and then an F here. It's a bit low, we'll get that fixed later. And then a D, E, A. Okay, and we'll just make some changes to that. I think I'd like that to be an octave low. Octave lower. And F a bit higher up, and the E is okay there, and the A an octave higher, I think, as well. I might put another A on there just to make it a bit fatter. Here we go. And perhaps another D on here to make this a bit fatter as well. So might be too high. Just take it, undo that, take it down an octave. See how that sounds? Now I'm going to add a guitar part underneath and then finish off with the drums. So we'll go back to guitar here and add a guitar part, acoustic guitar, so it doesn't dominate too much, and we'll exit score mode and choose some notes that we can put in to maybe extend the sound of it a little bit. So acoustic guitar, I'm going to start with some quavers, and I'll quickly add through the notes here along with some rests, and put in first rest and allow a little bit of space here. I like the way the lines line up, so you can tell exactly where to put the rest, which is quite handy. And choosing the kind of notes that I want, so going to some quavers. Let's just see how that sounds. And I'll finish that off. Let's record the last part, which is the drums. Turn on the drums here and choose what sort of drum we want in here. I think I might just go for a drum kit. So we'll put in the drum set here, and we'll put on our parts. Now you can choose some of the templates, which makes life a bit quicker. So we'll exit the score setup, and let's try maybe the first funk one and pop it in here and see how it sounds, and play that back. Not too bad. I think I might go for something a little simpler, so we'll try just a standard almost 4 on the floor rock 1 and compare the two of them, see how that sounds. Simpler one, and we'll get rid of the funk sounding one. So let's put in some rock drums right through, and see how that sounds. thank you. And now we'll try moving this into a performance arrangement, part 3. Okay, we're looking at using Notion and Studio 1.3 for performance. And I'm going to turn on the conductor mode or edit mode. And you'll see the little conductor man turn blue, and the start of the piece is highlighted yellow, along with some indications of the speed and other performance markings down the bottom. So I'm using the iRig Keys 37 Pro just to connect as a MIDI keyboard into the computer. And as I play this, it will change the speed and also the volume. So I'm going to start it off. Faster. Export this to Studio 1.3 using the export function here. Send to Studio 1.3 and it takes all the parts. I can also send it as a WAV file or stems, but I think the MIDI is a little more flexible, so I'm sending the notes through, and there it goes. And here's the data in Studio 1.3 for Crimea River. And you can make some alterations to it here and then send it back to Notion if you want to. The two programs work together seamlessly. Thank you for hearing me out, and look forward to any inquiries you might have.